Alright, so that's how you can be able to disperse the cells. If you want to disperse for the whole row, this now is a row, I click there on the numbers, because numbers are representing the rows. I right click and I say insert. When I do that, it inserts, so it displaces everything. So when it does that, I want to give it a title. Okay, so this title, which I'm going to give it, let's say list of names. Okay, list of names. I've given it a title, list of names. Now this title which I've given it, I would want it to center. Okay, for it to center, what I'll do is I'll just highlight. For me to highlight, I click and drag. Usually when I say click and drag, you left click, then with your mouse you drag to highlight the area that you want to highlight. Okay, so now after I've done that, I can now come to the home. Then I go merge. Where is it? Okay, it's here. So you come to merge and center. When you click on merge and center, your cell will merge up and form one. Then the content will be centered. All right, that's how you merge and center things. All right. Okay. So after you've done that, you can unmerge them by just clicking where you just clicked. Okay. All right. So now that was the brief introductory part. Where you fail to understand, you can stop me. But now we are getting into the data analysis part. I've avoided things like putting color and what, all those things. Those things Word has already explained. All right. So now we get into our data analysis. Okay. So when we come to data analysis, it's us trying to make sense out of the data which is coming. Okay. So most of the times, you can have the skill. You can have the skill of analyzing data. You can have the skill like how you can write a formula to do this, to this, to this. But it all centers also much on your creativity. Because at times, for you to be able to get a particular information, it requires you to think in a particular way. How do I get this information? For instance, if I say, I want to understand why people are buying more from ShopRite than Pick and Pay, what variables of data do I need to get in order to be able to do this? You can have the skill of analyzing the data that's been given to you, but also you need to have the skill of which particular part of the data do I need in order to come up with a better data analysis. I hope you get that point. Okay, so now here I created a random table. This is just a random table, and we're going to do some small things in data analysis. And what we are going to start with is things to deal with filtering of data, sorting out of data, the types of things that you can be able to do that. Okay. So what I'll just ask for is that I forgot to tell you that in this class we don't write notes. The reason why is that I don't want you to focus on your notes. I'll give you the video which you can be able to go through so that you don't have to struggle going through your notes, reading them. I think it will be much better and much faster. Okay? So starting tomorrow, every day before you come, I'll give you the videos for the next day so that you can go through them. When you come here, to be like a revision. Okay? So bear with me. Bear with me. Alright, so now this is just the data which we have. So now we want to start analyzing this kind of data by using things like filtering and sorting out of data. So what I have here, I've just grabbed a small part so that we can start build up bit by bit. So I've got a heading here which is region. We've got first name, item, and unit. Okay. Under region, we have consider this probably as provinces. Okay. You've got western, eastern, all that. Okay. In the file that I've given you, do you have that? You are there? Okay. So I'll show you. For now, don't try it out. I'll show you, then I'll give you time to try it. Okay? So right now, I want to be able to filter this data. I'm at a place of work. My manager has given me this data, and they have asked me, give me all the people that are found in west part or the west region. How do I quickly get that data? I'll use what you call filtering. So for you to be able to filter, like what you have here is a table. Excel is able to pick that. This is not officially a table by Excel, but when you do this, Excel is able to pick up that this is a table. Okay? So when you have clicked in it, in the table, you go to up here under the home. Then you go to editing. Under editing, you have got sort and filter. When you click there, you have a pop-up which will show you a filter. The filter button though. If you click on it, I want you to see what will happen to the table. So I'm going to click on it now. Okay. Have you seen what has happened to the table? These things are popped up. These are my boxes with which I've got an arrow facing down. Okay. I'll do it again so that you may be able to see it. Okay. I click on that, they pop up. You've seen them? Okay. So when they pop up, it means filtering has been activated. So now my boss asked me to say, I want all the people that are found in West. So what I want to get is people who are found in the West. So I want to get the region, and when I get the region, I should have also the first name, the item, and the units. So what I'll do is that I'll come to region, click on that button. When I click on it, I come down and I remove the selection of all of them by deselecting. When I deselect, now I select what I want, which is that West. I click on West. When I'm done, I say OK. So now my data has been filtered. What has just happened here? It has hidden the data. Not that it has deleted, no, it has hidden the data. So now that you have filtered the data, you can probably copy this data to a new sheet by clicking and highlighting, then Control C to copy. When you do Control C, you will see those dancing ants. Okay? When that happens, it means you have done the copying. Control C, that is just the copying. Then I can create a new sheet which is empty by going to the adding, that's my plus down there. Then when I come here, I can choose where my table should begin. It's either here or it can begin there, wherever I want. Okay? But where the cell which is highlighted, that's where it will begin. Then I do Control V to paste. Now I have the data for the West region. And I can quickly get this data and send it to my superior that this is the data you requested for. Alright? That's how you do it. Okay? Now that you're done, you can remove the filter on the region by going where you had clicked at first. Then you come here, then you say clear filter from region. You click there and it goes up. Okay, some of you might be aware of this, but those who are not aware of it, try it out. Try it out and move on. Any challenge? Just tell us. Go to the challenge. Oh. Okay. So police with the class. It's the one choice. Yeah. It's we're using a different use. So just click on that. No, like it's which is on your piece. Today I'll be very patient and slow because we're just getting to meet each other, but tomorrow will be more faster. Okay. All right. So now you've done your filtering. You have now known how you can be able to filter for the region. Okay. So now I want to be able to filter. This is what I want to do. I want to find people who are in Central Province, and these people who are in Central Province or Central Region should have an item called pencil. So now what I'm doing is I'm using two criteria. I'm saying you should be in Central Province or Central Region. When you're in Central Region, you should have an item called pencil. So now how do I get that data? Okay, so what I do is when you have got those dancing hands, you can just press escape or stop. Okay, escape is just at the far corner of your keyboard. All right. So now I want to use what you call two criteria type of filtering. Okay, so the person must be in Central. So I remove that. I click on Central. I get Central. Now I'm remaining with only Central. Then I have to enforce the next rule that they should only have an item called pencil. So I come to where there is item there, I click, then I only select pencil. Then I go OK. So now all the people who are in Central and have got pencil, they are filtered there. Making sense? Okay. All right. I clear the filter. I also clear the filter. Alright. Now, there are moments whereby you're going through data, and there's data probably that has got some problems. And every data that you find, for instance, where you've got this data, and probably I probably removed to remove all the formatting behind there by clearing there. So I'm going through this data, and as I'm going through this data, I'm finding that there are some which have got problems. They are missing probably data, or probably they are not correctly entered. Okay. Now I'm highlighting them to be able to show that okay, there is a problem with this data. So I can come here, highlight. Okay, that one has got a problem, and that one has got a problem. Okay. Right. So these data have got problems. Now, it's not a problem when you're dealing with probably 15 rows of data. But if you're dealing with thousands rows of data, whereby you've highlighted a number of things which have got issues, this is now where you need the filtering technique. So, I'm being asked, give me all those records which have got problems. After I have already made those my selections, how do I get that data? Okay? So what I'll do is that I'll come here and say I want to filter by color. So I come here and say filter by color. When I come here, I see that this color has been picked. And I say okay. So now it has filtered using the color technique. Okay? So that's how you can filter by color. Okay, try out that one, then we'll go on. Okay. Right, I think it's easy because we did it before. So we can clear the filtering. Okay. So I've shown you, you can be able to grab it, put it somewhere after you've done that. Okay. And then there are moments whereby you're dealing with data and you want, for instance, let me give this example. You've got churches, you've got Pentecostal churches, you've got Catholic churches, and probably you've got a list of these churches, different churches. But you know that most of the Catholic churches, they start with St. Matthew's, St. what, okay? So now you want to filter to say, I want all those St. something churches. So now, what you know is that they all start with Saint. They all start with Saint. Now, if they all start with Saint, you say, I want all the churches that have Saint to be filtered. I want to remain with only those. This is what you call filtering by a text. Okay? Now, filtering under a text, there are many categories. You can filter by text that begins with, text that ends with, text that contains with. All those are options. Okay? Now here we're going to start with text that begins with. So I come here, then I say text filters. When I bring my cursor there is a pop-up that you'll see there. It will tell you equals, does not equal, begins with, ends with, contains with, does not contain. Now we want to look for the one which begins with. So I come and click on begins with. Okay? When I do that, I have this pop-up. This search is being filtering is being done under the region tab, under the region column, okay, or heading. So here I come and type. How should it begin? Okay, I want it to begin with probably it's central, so I want it to begin with CE. So I just type in CE there. So you see what it will filter. Then I go and say okay. So all the text that begin with CE will be filtered. Okay? You try ends with. Try to use ends with. Try to use ends with. You try that one. All the rest is no problem. When you've got a blank row, it's able to detect that there's more data under there. You only have a challenge with a blank row when you let me show you what challenge you have. When you've got a blank row, let's say, okay, let me come to this. Let me just reduce it a little bit. too long, it's too long, it's too long. Okay, let me just do it from here. Create a new one. That's the blank row which you're looking at, right? Okay. So let me just be able to do this. So when I'm doing the numbering like 1, 2, okay, then I do that, then I do this. Have you seen what has happened? I skipped that because it was a little bit in the introduction. I hope you don't get confused. How the numbers run down. Okay. Who's not okay with that part? I can explain it. Which means you're okay, right? Okay. So now I did that. Now I wanted to replicate the action, but Excel was counting as it is going down, increasing the numbers. It was just checking on the left to say, is there something? If there's something, then I can continue adding. Is there anything? Then when it came here, when it saw that there was a blank the other side, it couldn't, because there was a blank the other side. So like that, when you have a blank row, you don't try out to run that automatic sequence. You have to first run a formula to say, show me all the blanks. You can even do filter all the blanks. When you do the filtering of all the blanks, let me do it right now. Let's put it as days, then numbers. Okay. So what you can do is you come to the filtering part, you click on the filter, then filter sort, which one? Blanks. Okay, let's. No, this one, okay, it will take me into formulas, which means I would have to write a formula for it. Yeah, I would have to write a formula for it, which means I would have to write a formula for it to say, when it is equal to blank, show me. So my question is, yes. Yes, it will. Yes, because of this blank row here. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. That's true. Literally, because this is why every time when you are given data, there is what you call data cleaning. So you get to clean out data because there are some things that you will not be able to do. Like what I've said, filtering that I check. If you've got a space in front of the thing, you won't be able to work out because it will contain as blank space. Blank space in Excel doesn't just remain there as blank, no. It has got a character in itself. So that's that's a part which will give you data cleaning. So I'll show you some of the quick formulas which you can be able to use. Clean all those kind of formulas. To be able to clean your data before you start analyzing. The blank. Yes. Yes. So don't worry, all the formulas I've got where the way we have designed this one is that I want to show you these things that you have to do without formulas. Then we'll reach a point whereby I'll show you all the small formulas that you will need to use. Just try them out. That formula, right, left, all those kind of formulas. I'll show you how you use them. Then after that, we'll graduate now mixing formulas, getting bigger formulas, adding other formulas in there to be able to analyze them. Okay? Oh, you don't have the flash yet. Where is the flash? Oh, okay. Which one? Okay. All right. So now we have seen now that you can be able to filter your data. You can be able to filter your data using your text. All right. So now I'm not going to show you all the text, right? Like for instance, let me clear the filter. I'm not going to show you all these, like all of them. Begins with and what. You can try this one out. Then, okay. So now I've shown you how to deal with text. Now, what about numbers? When you're dealing with data which contains numbers, for instance, let's take different companies. You're a supplier of particular goods at your company, or there's a particular stock or that you have, and it's been released in quantities. Okay, so now you want to know which ones have gotten above 50 quantities. How can you quickly get that data? Okay, so I come here and say filter by number. Then I'll say I've got all these options. Equals, does not equal, greater than or equal to, less than, all those. You name them. We already know what they mean. So you already know what you want. So you go to what you want there. So I want one which is greater than, not greater than equal, but just greater than. I click on greater than and should be greater than 50. Alright? Then I say equals. You will see that the data is filtered and you only remain with those units which are above 50. You won't find a 50, but you'll find everything above 50. That's how you use numbers for filtering. Okay? You just come here and there, you can clear the filter. Then the rest of these, I think, let me just show you where they are. Those below average, above average, all those things, you can be able to do it. Just by clicking there and you'll be able to. But the only thing which I didn't show you here is, for instance, if I say, okay, greater than, if I change my mind, I can still be able to click here and select another option. Okay? So I can quickly select another option here. Then the other thing is that you can also run two criteria just by that, by saying, okay, there is and there, or, so it should be greater than 50 and less than 30. When you do that, which means you get those which are greater than 50 and less than 30. Let's go to less than. So I put greater than 50 here. Then I can put there less than 30. When I do that, I can just say okay. Come on. Why is it not? Clear the filter. Let's do it again. show me greater than 50. Oh, they're not, or less than 30. Okay, so now, which means you get your data which is greater than 50 or less than 30. We are using two criteria there. Okay? Alright. Who has a question on filters? Who has a question on filters right now?